Hey everybody, Rodham here. Thanks for tuning in to the Philosopher King, a RimWorld royalty series about being a benevolent ruler. Here's a little reminder of what the rules and goals for our community look like, and then of course the projects that you all have voted upon that I'm still working on. A little recap of the last episode. We managed to take out the droner and then also make ourselves neutral with the rough Outlander Union. We have a considerable amount of cleanup to do. There was some changes I wanted to make. LBM mentioned that I needed a roof over some of my power grid there. I'm also going to want a roof over all of the new construction now, so that I can turn it into bedroom. So I'm going to lay that out. I'd like to start moving people out of the old bedroom, the old barracks or housing unit or whatever you want to call it, into the new one. Other things I needed to do is to home zone this up. I did receive an odd amount of comments, a lot of them, saying that my meat queue was wrong. So just doing some quick math for you all. I have 6 slots here of 75 apiece, which means 450 meat can be stored in this area here. I actually did want to make some changes here just to keep this a little bit cooler. So I'm going to add a pretty sizable airlock here. Hopefully both sets of doors won't be open. But so we have 450 meat here. So as long as my queue here is greater than 450, which it indeed is, it's up to 700, we're fine. Now it does mean that the minimum, this could be increased, but yeah, there is really no issue. There will be meat in my kitchen at all times. Bubbaloo and the crew are back home now. I'm going to be getting a lot of the sort of processing on. One of the first things I want to do is start to make the double strand clothing. That's pretty highly important, I think. And then Fustopia, could you fix the geothermal Jenny? Because that's kind of a problem that we don't have that up. Alright. One thing I wanted to do is to put in marble furniture in the new bedrooms rather than to put in wooden, just so that there's less flammability. I'll probably reuse the wooden bedrooms. Oh, and there's a psychic ship. Alright, so it seems to be a psychic ship made up entirely of scythers. Okay. Alright. So if we have a swarm of scythers coming in, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to lay out traps for them and deadfall trap them after shelling this ship. Which reminds me, I want to get the chem fuel and the shells on shelves. Shelves on shelves. Also, before I activate the ship, of course, need to wall up the holes that are in my perimeter walls. Having giant gaping holes in my perimeter would be really, really bad. And then another thing I wanted to do, or should do, is I don't really want to fight all of those scythers all at once, so I'm going to lay out some traps that I will reinstall into the path once I'm ready to go. As soon as Bubbaloo is able to make a speech, I'll probably give one, hoping for some inspirations, because moods are riding fairly high in this community. Fairly high. Certainly not perfect, but they're pretty good. Okay, Zero's healed. And we should be making double strand clothing. And this is definitely going to protect us a lot better. The next thing I wanted to do, Mathis, I'm going to have you do it, is work on airlocking this up a little bit better, because right now it is it's going to get heated. And animals, I can allow the haulers to haul again. And then the grazers to graze. So instead of wooden door there, I'm going to have it be... Oh, a masterwork button-down shirt. Perfect. I'm going to have it be a wall. And that should keep everything in there a lot more frozen. Alright, helping Dweeb. For a little bit of gold. Dweeb is the prime counselor of Ervamum. Got a little message that there's a bandit camp guarded by 13 enemies. And they'll give us a little bit of gold for taking it out. Maybe we help Dweeb, but that sounds like a dangerous fight for a pretty low reward. Mathis, could I get you to start cremating? Okay, so this freezer is definitely frozen now, which is good. We still have some holes in the perimeter. Now, the psychic ship will increase in severity the longer it's up. But right now I'm, with a psychic drone low, we were just dealing with a high droner. So a low droner is really not that much of a threat, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, manually dropping them off. I'm going to keep the survival meals in my kitchen to keep them away from the animals, because they were eating a bunch of these survival meals. Okay, it looks like we're having trouble keeping up with our power requirements. Just a little bit. Keep an eye on that. Oh, this is a fueled smithy. I don't even know why I made a fueled smithy. Should have been an electric one. I'll break that down. And we have a solar flare. So, those power requirements are moot now. Okay. Well, this gives us the opportunity to do a lot of the sort of unpowered construction that we have queued up. So getting these dressers up. I don't really care too much about the quality of the dressers. It's not a problem if they're not amazing. I can work towards higher quality stuff if I want to improve the bedrooms sometime in the future. Another masterwork duster. That's really good. I think Zero put it on himself, or herself, which is probably wise, given that Zero's down to one lung. So if I lose another lung, that's fatal, whereas anyone else can lose a lung and have it not be fatal. Whoa, okay, and another mech cluster. This one with a countdown and proximity activators. A whole bunch of proximity activators. Oddly enough, this one is mostly turrets. They don't have any mortars. They do have mech drop beacons. So what I'm going to do is restrict everybody to home. And then additionally, make sure to get the border walls up immediately. Animals, everybody goes to graze. Don't want to set these off with the proximity beacons. They do have dormant assemblers, but that's just because they have a countdown activator. So, first things first, what I really want to do is to work on the psychic droner. I really hope you don't walk through the Mech cluster while we release you. You shouldn't. I don't see why you'd go south like that, but, alright, I'm going to expand the home zone to allow for this wall to be constructed. And how many days did I have on this? 13? Okay, that's not too bad. That gives me a plush amount of time to deal with it. So some changes I'd like to make for the scythers that are coming in. Poppy, I'm going to have you grab the EMP launcher, and then everybody else that has sniper rifles are going to switch from sniper rifles to assault rifles, as they are higher damage per second. Okay, group of travelers passing by. Again, this concerns me a little bit, because I don't want them running into danger. Throne speech is almost off cooldown. Alright, these shelves are all set, so let's clear them and actually put the mortar shells that are supposed to be in there. So high explosives in one, and EMPs in the other. This shelf not done yet, but it will be soon. Okay. Throne speech is off cooldown. So the plan is pretty simple. Wait for these visitors to pass through so they don't take collateral damage, and then to shell the psychic droner. And once this ship part drops below 50%, they will be compelled to attack us, where we will have everybody at our defenses ready to blow them apart. Seems simple. Okay, we can turn off that. Why am I running into power issues? 2 geothermal jennies. I shouldn't have such power problems. Alright, let's give a speech from the throne. We have a lot of people that are maximum mood right now, so I'm surprised I don't have more inspirations. Now, they're not hard-coded to trigger on max mood. It's the chances just go up the happier you are. Okay, the drone is now a medium intensity, and I do intend to attack it today. Which means, animals, all of you lovely creatures, get to the barn, get inside. Inspirational speech, full of intensity. Good, well that makes sense. So Chris, Shay, Faustopia, I'm just picking you guys at random. I'm going to have you hold fire, but man these 3. And then Poppy and everybody else get to the northern walls. I'm not going to wait for this little border project. Meaning I'm not going to make use of these spike traps, not really. I'll set a few up, but that's it. So Mathis and 0. Oh, is that not home zone? I suppose it's not. Move these into place. Alright, Poppy, front and center. Talon right in front of her. Bubbaloo and Yanshui on the sides. 0. And... oh, don't want you walking over there. Okay, so now we should be all set. Barn is going to just be the barn now. So get on out of that. All of this, set force target. And bombs away. As soon as the Scythers are confirmed coming down to me, meaning that this ship part is below 50%, I'll set these guys up to the northern wall. So, direct hits would be ideal. Now, another way to do this would be to have sniper rifles and just plug the... maybe I should do it that way. It's a little bit cheaper on the shells. Yeah. No, I'm going to do it this way. It's a little bit safer. The problem with plugging away on the ship part is if anyone can be outrun by Scythers... Okay, now that was miserable. Okay. Forget using the shells now. If anybody can be outrun by the Scythers, they will be. And that could be a problem of its own. So, taking a look if anyone has, like, movement issues. Like, Zero here should not be running out there. Mathis. Okay, so we're switching up to sniper rifles, just to save us some shells, because I've never really been a big proponent of mortars. They're dreadfully inaccurate and expensive. Zero and Yanshui, actually Yanshui, grab the minigun. They are going to switch up. I'm going to basically have everybody be dealing with this. So we'll have a group of snipers. So this one's bio-coded, which means we are not going to be able to use it. Okay. So here's all our snipers. And we'll start shooting. Actually, we can start shooting these Scythers. There's not even a requirement necessarily to shoot the ship. If I could get these Scythers. But you've got to eat. That actually reminds me of the assignments. I have everybody on the wrong meals. Seeing him be so hungry was a pretty good reminder. So some of these Scythers are going to push down to us. And, just keep coming. Seems like they are committing to an actual attack, which is pretty cool. What's not cool is that Talon is less than protected, but I'll be looking after him in just a second. Alright, whoever's Mathis, you're going to be first to the walls, and then Yanshui, you keep those doors open. Bubbaloo, I'm going to have you skip. Talon, keep running. I'm going to chaos skip this one. Alright, so some are going to make it through. Just keep on moving. I meant for Talon to be... Oh, perfect, that works. Right into the bedroom. Okay, Zero, Yanshui. Go here and here alike. Poppy, here as well. The bedroom I'm going to deal with in just a second. I can let Mr. Bedroom cut up a little bit. It's not urgent that I deal with it. It's more urgent that the rest of these go down. Alright, that exploded, unfortunately. It did, however, take out an extra scyther. And now we have one left. Alright. Now everybody gets down here. And then Talon, you are going to pop open this beautiful door. Ouch. Got a cheeky little stab there. More than one. Not sure I like that. Alright, Talon, you're intact at least. Bubbaloo, you patch him up. And Yanshui and Zero, let's go have some target practice on this ship. While everybody else goes back to work. Okay, we'll leave those deadfall traps installed there when we need them. Okay, no more psychic drones. Temporarily, I'm going to unrestrict them just so that they can haul the perishable components home. But then I'm going to put them right back on housing restrictions. So they don't leave. Talon, you got patched? Okay, yep, you did indeed get patched up. Let's turn on our machining table, because we're going to want to break them down. And then Shay. Okay, yep, we're all set. Now I have a pretty severe lack of vegetables right now, but I'm not going to be able to miraculously fix that at the moment. Restricts back to home now that we carried in those components. And then we just have this last mech cluster to deal with. This mech cluster is going to be pretty easy. Well, I shouldn't use the word easy, but it's going to be relatively easier for me to deal with because they don't have any auto mortars, which means I can just mortar it down without too much issue. It does depend on what the mech drop beacons are. As you can see here, there is one centipede. It is an inferno centipede, but the mech drop beacons, two of them? Could send down a bunch of centipedes or none. I don't know. Plus whatever's in the mech capsule. It doesn't worry me too much, but I definitely don't want to set it up proximity. Also, one of these things I probably want Talon to be fully healed from. So it's not going to be done anytime soon. All of these animals can go back to grazing, so they're not all cooped up. Now all my perimeter walls are back up and constructed. That's good. Keeps us a little bit safe. I was hoping to get a lot more of the sort of layout of my base done, but I think that is going to have to wait because of these mech clusters. But I will start moving my bedrooms over. Puppy. Yeah, I guess technically you are a hunter and you do lack a ranged weapon. I'll give you an assault rifle for now. Okay, breaking down the scythers. The next thing I'm going to want is the end tables. Working in the dark is definitely not speeding this up, so let's toss a light in here. Come on, reconnect. There we go. It's a little bit better. Starvation. Bubblu. Well, that's not what I wanted. I don't think that there's going to be royal meals for the time being. So I'm just gonna assign fine meals to be acceptable. Because we're still waiting on this rice harvest and the like. Alright, this should be... Let's reinstall it. Okay, these bedrooms are almost ready to be used, so I'm going to start moving the beds over. Now, it doesn't have AC or cooling, but it will. I'm working on that. I'm going to have to throw in a temporary wall here to allow the vents to work properly. And then Bubblu's old bedroom, you'll be the first to move. So now he has a dignified bedroom again. Okay, we are waiting on uranium, which I have, and components, which I have. So yeah, this turret should be easy to replace. I'd really like these walls around here to be repaired before I hit the countdown activator. So let me try to get as much of this construction done, and then we should be all set. Man, I can't even eat. We don't even have fine meals. So I'm going to force consume a simple meal. It's going to be undignified food, and it's going to piss him off, but it's better than starving. Okay, so the bedrooms are starting to move. And that means... Ooh, some silver scanned to the ground. Let me mark that down. Just labeling it silver so I know what it is, and putting plans for visibility, because I find it's a little easier to see the plans than the stockpile zone, especially when the stockpile zone blends in. Alright, so these old bedrooms are no longer going to be bedrooms, so I'm just breaking down everything that I don't need in there anymore. You named a husky Boogie Woogie after being nuzzled. Oh, yeah. There was, of course, the issue with these huskies being named after my patrons. So Boogie Woogie, I'm going to rename Husky so that I can remember to do the raffle. I forgot. I will openly admit. So I'm moving the heaters and coolers into the new barracks. And then as soon as... Oh, and this is back up. As soon as these walls are repaired, I will activate the Mech cluster. Additionally, probably want to remove roof over all of this. So let's get that done, so it doesn't all come collapsing on our heads. Now everything here, all of this will be redesigned piece by piece, so I don't have, you know, gaping holes in my base. But I do intend to have it all be broken down at some point. I know it's a lot. It's a lot to be redesigned, but I feel like that is in the spirit of designing the base as a castle. So there's going to be a lot of work needed to be done around here, which is why I'm hoping for some episodes of silence. You know, a little bit of peace. Yeah, I know I could be using the destruct tool, I just don't care. I'm going to leave the flooring in because I don't have everything mapped out, so I don't know exactly what the footprint of the base might look like. Maybe I'll even strip of the floors on second thought. All right. Now the only thing that is not going to change is the farms. You can't control where you have fertile soil, so I'm not changing on anything about where I put the fertile soil. So those walls still have yet to be repaired. Once this project is done, removing the old bedrooms. We should be repairing next. Just adding some additional lights. Okay, these walls are getting repaired, which means I'm going to activate the mechs soonish. Soonish is just a way of me to say, I don't know exactly when it will be, but when the opportunity arises that it's obvious. Another thing I'm going to need, obviously, is some additional hunting. So it is pretty paramount that soon I get... actually, you two, come on out. Pretty soon I get my... those mechs killed, because I can't really allow my guys to freely hunt when there's the possibility of tripping the proximity triggers. Now, yes, there is the possibility, of course, of laying out a movement restriction zone, but I'd rather just manually control them like this. Because it's pretty easy for me to just, you know, manually control them. Alright, that should be enough meat for now to satisfy our needs, because it looks like these walls are just about all set up. Mathis, I'm going to force you to fix this wall up, and then go to sleep. Now, the other thing that's been happening while I set up the new bedrooms is, as you can see, the double strandification of our clothing, which means that our sharp resist and heat resist has gone up considerably, which is really, really nice. We're a lot more fireproof and stab-proof and bulletproof, not proof, but resistant, I should say, than we were previously. Another thing that occurs to me is a lot of these bedrooms are all screwed up, so Poppy and Chris should have a bedroom together. Then Faustopia and Shay should have a bedroom together. A bunch of single people picked double bedrooms, and it screwed everything up. Yan Shui and Mathis, right? Yep. This could be zeros. Bubbaloo is at least in the right one. Poppy. Wait, I thought I just set this one up. Poppy and Chris should be here. Abernath, you're single. You're also really young, so I don't suspect you'll be in a relationship anytime soon. Talon. Alright, and then we should be all set. There ought to be bedrooms for everybody. No. Someone like Chris just had a really terrible night's sleep of disturbed, slept on the ground. Oh, Abernath, what are you doing? You do have a bedroom. Okay, so the walls are up. So the next thing I want to do is to... let's trigger. Yeah. So that means switching my weapons around back to assault rifles. So Mathis, Faustopia, Shay, Chris, and Poppy. Alright, so and Bubbaloo. Oh, we found some jade. Just gonna crudely mark it down. So once Mathis is awake, we'll switch. I'm just gonna make sure everyone has the right weapons. Poppy's got the EMP launcher, and everybody else has assault rifles or miniguns. Yep, except for Bubbaloo, who I'm going to force, and Mathis, who's going to pick it up. He was up late last night repairing the walls. Okay, we're starting to get lavish meals again, which means the royal meals can go back to lavish and lavish only. I'm just going to call it lavish meals. And then, I'm going to delete the other ones. I don't need them in the moment. I'm just going to leave them out. Okay. Alright, Mathis. We're waiting on you to wake up. Anytime now. Alright, here he goes. So he's going to get his assault rifle. He's going to fulfill his food needs. Well, actually, I guess he's going straight for the hauling. Alright, finish. Eat some meals. I'm going to give him a lavish meal. So instead of waiting on the fine meals. And then, got some mad ibexes. All right, let me deal with these ibexes first. Shay, Faustopia, and Chris, I'm going to have you come south. Setting everybody up into position for this fight. That means animals to the barn. Whoa, this is a lot of ibexes. I did not realize it was a super swarm. I guess I should have checked the wildlife tab or something. Alright, so if that's the case, you guys really ought to come back north. And then Talon, go stand near the doorway. Animals, I'm going to have all of these animals release so that they're all helping. So Mathis, I'm going to have you be the super bond. Done. And then Mathis, release your animals. Well, this will help out our food needs, I guess. The rest of the wildlife, anyone that is manhuntered, let's tag. Okay, we are all set. There is one left, but not super high need to deal with that. Actually, what I'm going to do is take everybody off of draft, because I want to haul these ibex. Oh God, Steve. Hi, Steve. You are a space refugee with a wooden foot and a psychopath that doesn't do dumb labor. I don't think I'm going to go out of my way to help Steve there. I'm sorry to say. It's just not in the cards for Steve. Alright, so my some of the animals got a little hurt. Just some light bruising or light gunshots. Alright, so we have a little bit more cleanup to do. So maybe tomorrow morning I'll end up triggering this mech cluster. But it looks like I might be out of time before then. Sadly. Just because of the delays that I got. A shuttle arrived for Joy. That's probably really good. Set to low, Joy, and 0. I'm going to unrestrict you and carry Joy to the shuttle. This is for some royal favor. I agreed to look after Joy as a favor to the royals. Oh, you want to eat out there? That's fine. All right, now back to home and launch. Send it. Quest completed. A lovely bison. Joy. It was a joy looking after you. You didn't cause any trouble whatsoever. Every now and then, the royal guests are kind of a royal pain, if you know what I mean. All right, so the beds are set up correctly for tonight, which is really good. Better than the previous nights. And then these animals, because I'm not immediately triggering the mechs, I'm just going to lift the restrictions. Let them roam. Set up a little bit more backup battery. So we carried in the batteries, and we might as well put them to use. I think what I'm going to do is have a slightly longer than usual episode and actually trigger this mech cluster. So these are all going to be hold fire. Let's aim for the centipede first. And let her rip. Now, they don't have any auto mortars in this cluster. Otherwise, mortaring them would be kind of a bad idea because they'll mortar back. But with no auto mortars, it's less of a risk. Okay, all of these animals here are going to be unconscripted and thereby allowed to go into the barn. Okay. Total miss. 3 misses. We have a bunch of shells, so I'm hoping that we hit something. I could also try to aim for something like this. Some high... There we go. Some high density. So it looks like they, funny enough, walled themselves in. That's a funny mech cluster. Man, if only I had like a triple launcher at the ready here. Okay, let's try to hit the centipede. Okay, at this point, I think it's probably best if these guys proceed north. Turrets are on. The first wave is coming in. It is a lot of mechs. They're bountiful. Alright, Airbernath. I'm going to have you deliver some backup turrets. Just turrets in case I need to fall back deeper into my base. I'll have you deliver some of those. So their issue is I hope Lancers are doing exactly what I didn't want them to do, which is to stand... Now, one of the good things about this is it does create a natural bottleneck. Meaning that the Scythers can't get in as easily. Ooh, that poor turret. Turn them off, but the turrets are just taking too much heat. It's alright, that's what they're there for, right? Alright, Poppy, let's put your shots back on the entry. Alright, Zero just got lightly shot. I'm going to have Zero back up a little bit. Turret's gone again. Oh, as is this one. Talon, you should move out of the way. And then Bubbaloo, get in position for the centipede. Airbernath, start delivering. Alright. Forbid that steal. Start delivering to the store. Oh, that was bad timing. That's okay. Okay, Yang Shui, don't punch the mech down. Alright, all of the immediate mechs are downed. Let me just cut the power, and we'll deal with the rest of the mech cluster, which is mostly just going to be shelling for safety's sake. Next episode. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I didn't make you wait for cliffhanger. If you have any tips, tricks, feedback for me, do drop me a line in the comments below. I really thank you for that. Let me know if you enjoyed this with likes or subscribes if you haven't done that already. And if you're a patron of mine, don't forget to submit project ideas in Discord. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch you all next episode. Adios.